today is going to be a bit of a different video. We are reviewing a belt, but it's a bit different. So first, let me introduce some of my friends. So Rob, go ahead.
Oh, hey, no, I'm glad to be here, Max. Definitely want to say, thank you for definitely for the invite. Definitely a fan of yours. You do some really, really good reviews and everything. So definitely really happy to be here, man.
Thank you. And Mike, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks so much for filming this a little late here on the East Coast. My channel, Mike Morano Meets the World. I love belts. I love collecting belts. I love collecting all sorts of things. But, I gotta give credit to Max and Rob. They have such knowledge, such great knowledge, and have set up such a great presentation for tonight. And thanks so much for having me on your channel and be a part of this conversation. And hopefully we have many more going forward. So go ahead, Max, kick it off.
So this is the first video we're doing, but we plan on doing more of these. So basically what we're doing is we pick a specific belt, we review it, the official belt, who made it, and then we talk about official replicas or bootleg replicas and what we think about them.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's start it off with the WWF/WWE Undisputed Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it started with the version 1, which is the only version that had the WWF logo.
Uh-huh.
Introduced by Ric Flair on Monday Night Raw, if you guys remember that.
Oh, I do. That was in 2002. Shortly thereafter, Triple H defeated Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 18 over there in Canada, Toronto, Sky Dome.
I remember that episode too, Mike. I mean, and man, the suit. And I remember I was watching. I'm like, man, Rick is dressed really nicely. Like, I remember.
He had something that night. That was a hell of a presentation.
Oh, and, totally.
I love that version with the WWF logo on it. I'm just looking. Wow, that looks awesome.
Yeah, I know a lot of people love the version 2, but this version, although it is very small, that's the only gripe I have with it. It's very small, but the texturing on the side plates and the gold WWF logo just looks incredible on it. But let's go on to the version 2.
There it is.
Now, this one had bigger plates. It changed to the WWE logo, and the side plates weren't textured. So the version 1 had the texturing in the background of the side plates. This one didn't have it. And it had almost the two-tone gold. It made it look like two-tone gold. You can see by the eagle, the wings look like two-tone gold. Of course, the eagle was painted in black, and it added some black paint to the side plates where it didn't have texturing.
Just an amazing, with the size comparison, going from the version 1 to the version 2. I mean, just absolutely nuts, like absolutely crazy. But I mean, I love this version. Mm-hmm. This is, I mean, my opinion. I'm about bigger belts, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I mean, this version, absolutely love this version.
This is an awesome. The size does make a difference with this belt. It's unbelievable. I'm looking at it on the Rock's shoulder here on that PowerPoint that you set up there, Max, and I see the bigger plates. I mean, let me ask you a quick question. This Guerrero belt, and we'll get into this. Would this be derived from version 2?
No, although it says version 2 on the WWE shop, I believe it's the version 4. So I'll talk a little bit about that later when we get to version 4.
We'll get into it. I don't want to jump too far ahead. I apologize. I was just looking at it. And,
I know on the WWE shop it says version 2, but it's closer to the version 4, and the one that Eddie Guerrero held was version 4, so fact.
That's a hell of... Oh, and here, if you want me to say, what we talked about before we started recording, so this is a photo right there of Brock Lesnar wearing that version 2 championship. It looks great around his waist, Heyman by his side. I was actually at that event at the Garden. It was a Monday Night Raw back in August, the night after SummerSlam in 2002. My mother and I were there. That was actually a night where Kane returned and stopped the Un-Americans from, you Canadians over there, the Un-Americans from, desecrating our flag with a flamethrower, a blowtorch. I'm sorry, a blowtorch. I'm so sorry. And what's crazy is that that night like Rob can attest to as well, that was the night where SmackDown gained the exclusive rights when Raw went off the air, the exclusive rights to that championship and Brock Lesnar when he was seen leaving in a limousine with Stephanie McMahon to end that night. But, man, this championship, in all honesty, it defines an era. It really does for me, man. That brings back a lot of cool memories.
And, sorry, you're go ahead.
Just a sick looking belt. Like, Mike, I totally agree. Like, it's an era. I mean, when I see a title, I do see Eddie, I do, but, like, this is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And you can tell how huge the version 2 really is on Brock. It looks big on him. And he's not a cruiserweight.
Exactly.
No, it's absolutely massive.
I'd say the version 2 is a little too big. I know they shrunk it in, like, version 4, but you can see how huge it is. So on to the version
You're mentioning,
3.
Before we go to version 3, I see that you have a slide for version 3, but for version 2 that's on the website, not even talking about the one that I have, the Eddie Guerrero one, the black one that I think they put it on there for, they have the replica one, and then there's like a deluxe one, I think, that's about $1,000. Now, is that one close to version 2, or you think that one's more derived of version 4?
From what I've heard, it's the design. Well, even the $1,000 one, it's basically the same thing as the normal one. Just the stones are a bit different.
Right.
So it's definitely not worth it. But from what I've heard, it's closer to the version 4 than the version 2. More on, like, specifically the size and a few small details. So.
All right, I apologize. Yeah, I was just asking. That's interesting. Okay.
And double the price.
Yeah.
So onto the version 3. Now this one, the plates didn't actually really change. It was more of the strap. So the strap was a bit smaller because it was even too big for Brock. He had it on the last snap, so they changed the snaps. So it was 2x6 female snaps.
Yeah, that's 6.
And they removed the WWE logo plate just so it could fit his waist because it was way too big. And yeah, it only lasted 2 weeks, but that's the version 3.
Holy shit.
And onto the version 4, which is the most well-known belt. This one lasted the longest, and the design is close to the version 2. It is just a bit smaller. The size is between the version 1 and version 2, so not too big, not too small, just right. And it has the 2x5 snaps on both sides, and this is known as the definitive version to most belt collectors.
I gotta tell you, I want to own the version 2.
I mean, yeah, the version 2 is a beast. It's huge. You can see on Eddie that version 4 is a bit more proportionate, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm I'm looking at this picture, and one of the best moments.
And then as you can see...
You go back to No Way Out, 2004. Yeah.
Jumped in the crowd after he won it. Yeah, so, wonderful. I mean, and I agree with Mike. I mean, I would rather have the version 2.
I want version 2. That's a hell of a belt.
Yep.
So no logo plate like version 3. What do you mean by that, Max, in your slideshow? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, so in the version... So as you can see in the Rock, the 6th plate, that little logo plate.
Yeah.
That was...
That's... Okay, because that's in this one.
Yeah.
That's on there.
That's on that one. But there's a few differences which makes it closer to the version 4. They removed that in the version 3. So that logo plate's gone. And it's still gone in the version 4. So.
They didn't put it back. But even though Eddie won that title, they still tried to make... Basically what you're saying is they tried to make this look as close to version 2 as possible without it actually being version 2.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they derived it from 4 and made it compatible with 2. Yeah.
All right. That's it. Okay.
So it's almost like a Frankenstein of both.
Huh.
And you can see the comparison there. It looks a lot smaller on Brock. And,
yeah, it does.
You can see on Kurt there.
Title looks great on Kurt, though. I'll tell you, that's a hell of a promo picture.
And you can see the two-tone gold I was talking about. You can see, especially on Kurt, it almost looks like 2 different tones of gold. That's just the texture.
It is. It definitely is.
Mm-hmm. That is two-tone. Yeah.
That's just
is nice.
It looks like two-tone, but I believe it's just the texturing behind the gold, so it makes it look like that when the light's shining on it.
Huh.
So, onto the version 5, kind of. It was never the actual WWE Championship, but it did exist. So after Cena lost to Kurt Angle by DQ at Unforgiven 2005, the next night Eric Bischoff came out and brought out the version 5. It brought back the WWE logo plate, and it had no WWE logo tooling on the strap. So on the strap all around the plates it has the WWE logo.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have that. And now it had a 2x8 snap set on both sides. So this one was a bit smaller, as you can see on Bischoff's shoulder. A bit closer to the size of a version 1. But it wasn't textured like the version 1. So there were smaller plates, but it wasn't version 1 because it wasn't textured. And it had the 2x8 snap set.
Honestly, I don't care for this version. I'm sorry. And the color, I'm sorry, the color, that color on the plate. I mean, I'm looking here. Like, I mean, yeah. I don't know if it's the photo.
It might be because the lighting changes how a belt looks, but
yeah. I'm not crazy about version 5. I'm not crazy about.
No, this one, no, because the thing I like about the version 1 is the texturing behind the plates. This is a small belt and it has no texturing. I just don't like it. No. And then onto the replicas. So right now on WWE Shop you can get the official replica. It is $358 Canadian or $279.
Yeah, because it's on sale, Max. Mm-hmm. It's $279 right now.
Yeah, it's always on sale, and you can get this in about a week, depending on how much you want to pay out for shipping. Plates are 6mm. They are hollow, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a replica.
Yeah. And one quick question. This is actually a question. So maybe you can teach me a little something here, guys. So from the Guerrero belt, basically the same thing, only the strap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, Mike, I mean, a lot of people were taking that Guerrero belt when they got it, the one that you have, the Signature Series, because they were upset because of the black strap not being offered at the time, and we're going with a re-leathered approach.
Okay.
Then a couple weeks after, they decided to release this belt, and then everybody who got their belt re-leathered, I mean, absolutely. So I had a feeling that this was going to come. I did.
Yeah.
I mean, a huge difference. Yeah. I mean, the cast hollow plates, 6mm plates around, strap, probably, simulated leather, we call it. The deluxe version, I would never tell anyone to go get that one.
That one is just ridiculous. For the price, it's about $1,000. It says it's real leather. It's not real leather. The only difference is, I believe the backing is maybe real leather, but still stiff. It does have, it's re-stoned, so it has real crystals, but it doesn't have many stones on the belt anyways. It only has, 6? So, $1,000 for 6 stones and still fake leather? No.
Yeah.
Just get the one for $200, $279. Get it re-leathered, get it re-stoned. It's a beautiful belt, beautiful replica.
Yeah, and it definitely is. And then some of the other details that they have done on this replica, like the McMahon, I believe, what was it? The McMahon logo, I think, is a little bit more prominent on this belt, which is a big thing. I will give a shout out to Paul Martin. Paul Martin did a really epic review comparing the Biggs belt to this belt. He took this belt apart, like he totally did, and he compared it. I love when he does that. He's done that on a few of these belts, but the logo, even the logo texturing the logo and the writing on it is a little bit better on this belt. It is. But the horror story on this belt that, I've even said in my other videos with other belt collectors is that the paint is an issue. The paint is not really a paint. It's like Max, like a sticker, sticker or like a thing that they lay on, but it comes off. It comes off. And I know we're not reviewing the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, but another one that Max had. And
I have that belt as well.
I have that belt right now. I can't get it right now, but that's a horror. Like, I love the belt. It's a beautiful replica, but the paint just falls off. Like, it's not paint. It's like a epoxy or a plastic or.
No.
What are you doing with the belt? I mean,
nothing. I lay it down. I remember I laid it down. I don't know. I took out the screws to add some weights to it, to behind the plates. I picked it up. All the paint on my bed. Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I had to switch out my side plates because all the purple paint was gone. They were turning to silver plates, and it just looked horrible.
I ordered that belt the day it came out last year. I've thankfully had no issues. I don't know. I really like it. I think it's a nice little unique title to have.
Yeah. Well, more horror I've heard, Mike, and even though the only difference between the Signature Series and the black strap is the strap, more horror stories on this black strap that I've been hearing about for some odd reason, and I guess it's the same plates. Who knows? Who knows? But I've been hearing about it from other belt collectors. Yeah, that is, I mean, that is an issue. So. So, I mean, I do, like, we'll go through our replicas that we can to show. But, yeah, I mean, as Max said, I think every time I go into the shop, I think this belt I always have seen on some sort of sale. And I don't know what it started off with. I think it started off, Max? 550 Canadian, 600 Canadian. Yeah. But now, 358 Canadian.
That's a good
deal.
It's
a good deal.
If you're lucky, you don't have the paint issues, or you can just repaint it, It's not that hard. Get a little toothpick, repaint it, but it's still a wonderful replica. I'd say one of the best single-layer belts on WWE Shop right now. It's just, the detail on it is just amazing. Like you said, the crest, the McMahon crest on the side plate, you can read it. Like, that's incredible,
No, it is beautiful. No, you're right. I'm looking.
And the 6mm plates. I mean, I'm a very, very big fan of plates. I mean, my Andre is like 6 to 8. So, I mean, when you have the Figs replica, the Figures Inc. replica that I have, I mean, I will show you, but 2mm plates. That came on those, and then some of the detail definitely not. But I agree with Max. 100%. If you are lucky not to have any of those issues, this is a wonderful title to have, and it's actually a title that I've seen some of like the new belt collectors like get on their first belt, like this. To have this as a first belt, nice job.
It's just downhill from there.
Downhill from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a lot of people that might have started collecting belts recently or whatever, maybe this defines like their era when they were growing up now, because, now I guess I'm 31. So, people who were, I don't know, a little bit younger from whenever they can remember wrestling, they probably remember a lot of, episodes of SmackDown and stuff like that. And, the pay-per-views. And I think they look at this, this undisputed title or, as a belt that defined maybe them watching wrestling and growing up with it. But
I think the same way that the Winged Eagle or the Big Eagle defined a lot of people.
That's how I feel with the Winged Eagle. But this is,
and even in a few years, probably like the spinner, that's gonna pick up soon. Like, I'm only 18, so when I started watching wrestling, the spinner was out, and I mean, it's a belt that I want to get in the future, because although the design not everyone likes, a lot of people hate, but it's, it was the top belt when I started watching wrestling, so,
I had a spinner belt that was gifted to me by my aunt for Christmas back in late 2005. It was a kid size. It wasn't an adult size. It was a kid size replica, and it had the Mon Night Raw side plate, but boy, oh boy, I would do anything for an adult replica of that belt with the SmackDown logo with the fist on it.
I don't think they ever made the SmackDown replica.
I don't think they did either, but I would love for that to have been in my possession.
No, and I feel you guys. I mean, with certain belts that define eras, Eagle, undisputed titles, spinners, absolutely. I mean, I did used to have the spinner. I sold it. I'm not really. I mean, that's not really a belt that I'm really a fan of, only just because of I mean, it's just like the spinner. It's not tacky. I'm not saying that. It's just something that I kind of like.
Yeah.
When I look at my collection, it actually doesn't kind of go with my collection.
Right.
That's.
I see what you mean. That's fair. You have more of like a classic collection on that wall, or at least a more traditional would be the better word, more traditional style championship belts that you have. I agree.
Yeah.
Traditional, yeah.
See, I'm trying to do that too with a few. Like I got rid of my my white winged eagle. I sold that. I'm trying to get rid of some belts.
Wait a minute. The one that we're talking.
Congratulations.
The bronze one. I managed to sell it.
Congratulations.
Did you make a decent profit on?
No, that would be robbery if I sold it to someone at the price I paid for. But I gave sold it for like $250, which is not bad,
I mean,
congratulations.
Listen, I mean, yeah, congrats.
I'm
That's
surprised I sold it. So
yeah, that one definitely. Congrats.
Speaking of bootlegs, let's move on to the overseas options. So
right.
The one I chose was ORM belts. Now this is the same maker that made my silver smoking skull that you guys have seen, and I've made a review. I'll actually add it to the description. ORM belts is controversial, I'd say so, because his wait times are not the best. He'll tell you 3 to 4 months, and it'll take a year. So now for this belt,
that's what Shop AW told me. It looks like I'll be waiting a while for that.
At least they're honest,
They're honest.
For the version 1, he's selling it for $650, which is not bad considering it is 24 karat gold plated, which is great.
Yeah.
On real leather, hand tooled leather, and it's beautiful. I'll show some more pictures of it. You can see the detail.
I
there.
see there's a blue like I'm trying to see if I don't have any blue under.
Yeah, that's the version 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying like that blue was even on the version 1. Then I must have missed that. Okay, then it is true to detail. Wow, very nice.
And from that angle, Max, the deepness and the etching and everything, like, wow, that's a great angle. I mean, I'm looking at the main plate too. Looking at these side plates, very, very nice.
Yeah, and you can see the texturing I was mentioning before on the forest side plate. The texturing behind the WWF logo, you can see the texture behind it. Just looks wonderful. Now, this is the version 1 was the only one that had the texturing, which I think is sad, because I wish this belt, but bigger plates. That would be my dream Undisputed. Like, WWF logo, textured plates, but bigger. Maybe the size of the V4 or the V2.
Oh, man.
See
the hell of a belt.
That's a beauty.
And I love how it doesn't have that black back there on that side plate, like how it's like gold there. I love that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful belt. But to order this, you have to do it through Facebook or WhatsApp, and wait times. He said 4 to 5 months. I'd say maybe 6 to 9 months if you're lucky. I've been waiting since September 2020 for my belt. It's July? No, almost July.
As we have our viewers listening here, because they may ask this, you're saying that the payment is going through Facebook, of course, to contact ORM. I've heard some other stories that his Facebook group didn't get shut down at one time, or he deleted it.
His Facebook group got shut down so many times.
Yeah.
His Facebook account has gone deactivated and reported. It's just, I'd say if this is the first time you order overseas, don't go to ORM. You're gonna get scared,
Is money having to go through something like a Western Union type of deal?
I paid through PayPal.
Okay, because another maker, Muhammad Lukman, does his stuff through a Western Union type of thing.
Yeah.
But just trying to give the viewers here, if they were interested in this, how they would go about it. But
yeah, you can message him through Facebook or WhatsApp. That's more reliable.
Does he have a middleman?
Yes and no. I mean, they advertise his work and they help with questions, but they don't actually take in the money or take in orders. That's all done through ORM. So, kind of. But if you actually want to order it, go through him. I'll add his WhatsApp in the description if you guys want to contact him. But be warned, the wait time is long. I ordered the WWE United States Championship September of 2020. It's end of June 2021. Okay.
Have you
You're
heard?
talking about the new one?
No, the 2014 network logo.
Have you heard from him?
He communicates. He says it's been in final leather process for the last 2 months. So
Ugh.
I don't know.
Ugh.
He sent me a picture of a bunch of the U.S. plates. I mean, you're gonna get your belt. He's not a scammer. You're gonna get it, but wait times. It just takes so long, you know.
And again, we're not using this video, in my opinion, at least,
No.
as a platform to promote this.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
No.
We're not. We're not. We're doing. I mean, we're comparing replica shop belts or Figures Inc. and the overseas makers. So
Yes.
with respect to this belt, yes.
If you want the version 2, I'd say go to the shop, get it re-leathered, and you got a great belt. If you want the version 1, ORM is an option, but be warned, it takes a long time, and yeah. But if you once you do get the belt, it's a wonderful product. As you can see, the details, you know, it's there. Now,
Hell of a belt.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean that's a great angle.
now I was thinking you guys could show your belts. So I'll start
Sure.
with Rob.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have the shop belt, but I did get very lucky on this belt. An absolute incredible belt that this is. As far as the detail here, I'll show it up to the camera here, but this is the belt that I have here. I'll start from here. So it's a 2x8 on the male snaps. The McMahon family heirloom. I don't think that's probably more detail. This has the black border around the plates.
Mm-hmm.
So this, and then I did get this. Didn't come with the nameplate. I added Eddie on here.
Nice.
Just an Eddie. I mean, I'm just an Eddie fan, right? So, I mean, I did that. So, and then it just goes kind of like right here, and then goes all the way around. But main thing here, okay, then there's the property logo, and then a 2x5 on the female. The version 1 that they have on the shop, and then with respect to this, the distance from the top of the main plate down, I mean, there's no comparison. There absolutely isn't. The belt this belt is actually 18 years old. This belt, it is a 2003 Figures Inc. Another difference, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the thickness on those plates. Where is the thickness? I mean, this is a standard for Figures Inc. But this belt, it is 18 years old. And then I flip, if I flip it around, there is the, so you see here, not bad. It's in pretty good shape for its age. There's the patch there. The nameplate, just like the standard replicas, I mean, it does screw from the back. Probably I know probably if you have it a re-leathered option, you could probably change that with a re-leatherer to do that. As far as this belt goes, I mean, for its age, I do love this belt. I absolutely do. The history on or how I got this belt. I drove 3 hours one way to go get it and 3 hours the other way to go get it. My main man, Max, here actually helped me out with this transaction, sending him pictures. But it was something that I wasn't going to do. But, you have some regrets. Like sometimes, you have regrets selling belts. Sometimes you have regrets. Oh, maybe I should have gotten that belt. I have to be very honest. If I wouldn't have got this belt, like if I didn't go get it, I think I would have regretted it. So, and for the price point that I got this at, it's a steal that I got. And it goes right there. You can see the hole in my wall. It goes there. But as far as like comparisons, like to the to the shop belt, I mean, it's got the it's a stitched on snap locks, and obviously I think the other one is too. As far as, I mean, the thickness, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I'm finding in my opinion that, I mean, I'm a Figures Inc. belt collector. I mean, I am also a WWE shop, but my preference is a Figures Inc. A lot of my belts over here and over there are Figures Inc. belts. If I were to be asked which one would I rather own, just my preference, I do like this belt a lot better. I think it's because of the rarity. It's the rare. I'm a rare belt collector. It doesn't bother me. I don't have 6 millimeter thick plates. Not really. But I mean, walking around with this thing over your shoulder, wow. I mean, wow, ladies and gentlemen, like this is something that, I mean, and as we were going through our PowerPoint, with the versions and everything, the big belt, this is the one that I would rather have. And I don't know, Max, like when they did like an 03 Figs belt collector, I may have to ask some other guys, but this is probably like, do you think this is a true version 2? Like they were going with like a true version 2, or were they doing it the same basis?
I think that one has a bit more paint. I'm not sure if that's the version. I believe like one of the versions that Figures Inc. sold had too much paint on it, so a lot of people removed paint. I'm not sure if it's that version. But it looks like the version 2. It might be a little small because I know the version 2 is giant. Like
version 2 is big, or maybe they're calling this the version 2, and it was the version 4. But yeah, but I mean, as far as like, I really go for the patch on the back. I mean, that's what I like. If you are able to find a belt like this, ladies and gentlemen, that is a Figures Inc. I mean, you can't go wrong. A fellow belt collector that is an admin on Belt Addicts Anonymous recently picked up a deluxe Undisputed, who was actually featured on your channel, Mike, who was telling about that. I don't know what number it was, but it was out of 5,000. But he actually recently picked up a deluxe Figures Inc. Belt. So does it?
That has to be huge.
Massive, yeah. And the weight as well. Definitely a good size weight to this belt. Lightest belt that I own is the United States belt, the 2014. I mean, that is like
paper,
like a plum weight, like paper. This belt, like, literally has got some weight to it, definitely, and looks absolutely amazing because I have a mirror in my room that I walk around with, and I look at this thing, and it's absolutely incredible. So that's pretty much the differences here. But I did, like I said, I got this belt without the nameplate. Got to be honest, it neat nameplates. Ladies and gentlemen,
where did you get the nameplate?
John Barbarossa. Yeah, John Barbarossa has recent. Now, I could have gone to Belt Addiction. Belt Addiction is another company that does it. But, I mean, I'm all, like, I don't need, like, Figures Inc., like, nameplates. I mean, I'm not like that. I just need something to cover up the hole because there were holes on it. Like, for instance, like, my Ruthless Aggression Raw tag came without a nameplate. I just recently got Edge for that one because Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers. And I mean, when I think about that belt, Benoit, I mean, I'm sorry to mention his name, but Benoit and him, I actually was at the Saddle Dome when they won the tag titles, the one night. So back in 2004. But
Raw or
Raw, it was Raw. And then the night before that, I was at Backlash in Edmonton. So, but yeah, no, I mean, if I was looking at this Undisputed belt, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great piece. But I won't take up any more time with this belt. I know we've got the Signature Series that we want to take a look at. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a belt. Just to touch on yours real quick before I show off the Eddie Guerrero Signature Series, what strikes me about your belt the most, I agree with you that I wouldn't care much about, what size the plates are. I care more about the fact that your belt is strictly a Figures Inc. belt.
Mm.
That's what makes it rare to me. I don't necessarily care about the attention to detail. If it's passable, if it's doable, that's more than fine for me. But just knowing that you got one from Figures Inc. and you go back to that era where they were selling belts, that was a really cool era. Also, around the same time, they were selling those classic Superstars action figures and stuff like that. I don't know. You go back to that era. That was like one of the first few times, I think, as a wrestling fan, when you would watch wrestling on TV and like see a belt like that or the World Heavyweight title. In the crowd, somebody had it over their shoulder, and like that's when they really started making money off of those belts, I would say. Excuse me. So I will show the Signature Series. I don't have the best lighting, don't have the best video quality, so I apologize ahead of time, but we'll try to make this happen. This belt is very heavy, very, very heavy. And to me, it is very big as compared. So you see, we'll do the plates there. So Max, you said these are 6 millimeter, right?
Yeah, 6 millimeter, and the shop says that it is 8 pounds. So
it feels like it's just over 8 pounds.
Yeah, it says 8.05. So
yeah, okay, well then whatever. It's not that much. Now this is the Eddie's tights. So I got to get into the strap, because the strap is what really to me makes the belt pop. The colors on the strap were from Eddie's tights, I believe, that night that he defeated Brock Lesnar. What's funny about this belt is that I created my YouTube channel last June, and I bought this belt, and I was like, I wonder if people would watch a video on it if I made it, and not a lot of people. I mean, looking back, and I think only 1,300 people watched the video, but it was the first video that I ever made.
Yeah,
and
I remember I watched that. Sorry to interrupt, but I remember watching that video. That was in my recommended, and you were like one of the first people that got it. I think you were the first one to get it on.
Well, I was
YouTube.
The first one to get it because I do next day shipping like a psychopath.
I remember checking on the Facebook groups. Everyone's like, "Oh, a new replica," and then the next morning, just a video, and there you are.
Yeah, I only do next day shipping with most of the stuff I buy. Now, these were Eddie's boots, the color of like Eddie's boots that night, and you see that beautiful with the gold, because it is a Signature Series, that beautiful gold stamp right there, official. And on top of that, I don't know, man. I mean, to me, I would love the black one. If you made me decide, if you put a gun to my head and were like, hey, do you want the black one or you want to keep your Signature Series? It'd be tough. I would definitely want the classic, like, black one, the version 2 of it, or at least whatever they say the version 2 is. But to me, this is one of my favorite belts. And when I own a home, hopefully within a couple of years or in a year or two, this is definitely one of the main pieces that I will show off in my basement and stuff like that. This is definitely something. So, is there any questions or anything like that?
Just a comment. One thing I do like about it is the attention to detail in the replica. Now, I know he didn't hold the version 2, but if you look at the nameplate on there, that's the correct font, and that's completely accurate to what he had. Because I know when WWE does the Signature Series and they add nameplates, sometimes it isn't correct, but I compared it to the photos when he held it. That's complete correct font. It's perfect, the nameplate. So
yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of my favorite belts. This was not my first belt. This was just my first YouTube video from my channel. And the straps say Lie, Cheat, and Steal, and then on the other strap it says Latino Heat. I don't know. I just think there's something special to commemorate Eddie, and that's what it is. It doesn't have to be it has this paint on it that I'll just show you real quick that would make it look like it's the plate's bigger than it is. So I'll just show you real quick. Do you see the black over there? That's not any gold. That's not part of the plate. That's actually the strap. It's like an outline. If they were like doing some type of outline,
Yeah.
and then putting the main plate over it. So, but then there is the black part of the plate there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just talking about if you see under here,
Yeah.
like there's an outline around it.
Mm-hmm.
That under there is that's just part of the strap. That's not part of the plate.
Yeah, that's a great replica. Definitely my favorite signature series. I know, honestly, I don't really like any of the signature series, but if I had to, that one I do like. Okay, just that one. The strap, I love the strap. I love the plates, the nameplate. For me, if I had to pick, either the version 2 on the black strap or this one,
Mm-hmm.
I would get the Eddie Guerrero just for the nameplate, and because I'm gonna get it re-leathered anyways. So
You love to re-leather these things, man.
you don't know how
I'll
nice
tell you-
real leather is until you hold it.
I believe you. No, I believe you. But what I will say is this. We go back to that NXT title. And the new version they made wasn't that bad. It was... Those straps were flexible.
I remember.
I mean, more flexible than a lot of other belts.
I remember thinking it was so good that I was like, oh, I don't never need to get this re-leathered. Because it was so
Right.
soft. But then you get real leather and you're like, okay. Even the best simulated strap,
The new U.S. title that I had gotten last summer, in my opinion, held a lot of belts. And I want to review that belt next time.
Mhm.
We'll find it if that's okay. I want to review that belt next time. And I will show you that belt from WWE Shop does not need to be re-leathered. I mean, it can always... Listen, in my opinion, I've never held a belt where something was that flexible or you hold it in your hands, because I'm assuming the re-leathering process is going to cost you some money.
about 300. Yeah.
About how much?
300-ish.
It's okay, because I never got anything re-leathered, so it's around 300. Wow. I mean, hey, I'm sure it'll be great, and all these great people that'll do it, but that U.S. title, in my opinion, you buy it as is. I mean, what more do you... to me, it would be like... See, that's where I disagree with certain things. I can't re-leather them because, to me, I'm collecting for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not collecting to show you that I have the closest thing to the one that they have on television. I'm collecting to show you that the company came out with this blah, 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 whatever it was, and I want to get it, so I look back at it kind of like Rob's able to do with those Figures Inc. belts. Maybe there'll be something where in 20 years, I can look back and say, oh, remember that Signature Series run? Like the Signature Series on the Undertaker belt is very different. It's a very strange belt. I mean, it's not for everybody. But for me, and I want to review... When we review the Winged Eagle, I want to review the Winged Eagle I have from Shop. Rob will review his, and I will review my other Winged Eagle of The Undertaker. And I was going to get that dual-plated thing, but I forgot to tell you not to get off track with this video. I'm sorry. I'm rambling. I canceled the order on the dual-plated. They're waiting way too long.
Oh.
When it comes back up, maybe I'll revisit that. But I just spent all that money on the AEW belt.
Right.
I had called them and asked them what was happening with the belt. They couldn't even give me a straight answer as to when it would even ship. So whoever got that belt that was misspelled got very, very fortunate. And to me, that's a hell of a collector's item right there.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was very close to getting it because I bought it that day. And I just...
Yeah, and I feel you, Mike. I mean, I also collect for that reason, is just to show the patch. Like, I'm about the patch. I really am. I've only got one re-leathered belt in my collection. I do. But when I'm taking the belt off the wall and I'm flipping that belt, flipping it around and showing and looking at it, even on the Figures Inc. belts, Figures Toy Company, that's a big thing in itself. I mean, this belt right here, this belt down here, yeah, I mean that's a big thing too. I'd like to know what company had, and what company made the belts, and that's how I feel about it. And I always go for rare belts like a 2001, 2003 Figures Inc., 2005. I mean, because you're right. I mean, it has been that 15 to 20 year period. It has, with respect to it. But some guys are different. Some guys, love the real finesse of a real leather type, because these straps are the Figures Inc. straps kind of they definitely do suck. I mean, they absolutely do.
One thing.
Go ahead, Max.
Sorry,
go ahead.
You were talking about the U.S. belt. I had that in my collection. I don't know if you were just lucky, because I know sometimes some straps are soft and some are stiff. Mine was horrible. I'm just gonna be honest.
You're talking about the new U.S. title.
The new U.S. title.
He had the new.
Mine was so stiff. It was ridiculous. That's the reason I sold it. The plates were great, but the strap was so stiff that whenever I picked it up, and I was like, I don't know. I know sometimes some people got soft straps, and some people, I know some belts, depends when you bought it. But the one I got that belt, and I'm not trying to interrupt them.
I apologize. I'm not trying to interrupt. Okay. I bought that belt. They debuted it on Raw. When they went to a commercial, it was on WWE's shop. I bought it. It wasn't supposed to ship out for a month. And then it shipped out a few days later. I couldn't believe I got it. And I was, again, the first. I'm not just saying this to be annoying or whatever, but I was actually the first one on YouTube with it. And I actually troll some of these people who, I'm not saying any of them are bad or anything like that, but some of them have a lot of subscribers, and maybe they know how to edit videos better than I do or whatever. I don't know how to do anything. I just know how to talk and show you what I bought, and it's grainy, but here it is. And so I would troll people's channels, people who collect belts. I would just be like, hey, that's a great belt, ... But if you want to see I was like how Eric Bischoff was back in the day, giving the Raw results on Nitro. That's how I would plug my check.
I mean that U.S. belt, the new one.
Yeah.
The paint mod on it with the
you
blue.
Don't like it?
I love it. With the blue paint mod, I think that's the way it should look.
I thought I wanted to get a paint mod on it, but then I got it in person, and there's texturing, gold texturing behind the stars. I didn't know I had that, and it just looks so
We're gonna give them a bonus. I'm gonna ask my fiance if she can just help me out. I want to find that in my thing. I gotta go rummaging through. I got things on top of everything. I'm gonna get this belt out right now. I'm sorry to do this.
I know. I wanted to get the paint mod. I got the belt, I think, a few months after it came out. Someone was selling it on Facebook groups, and I planned on getting a paint mod done. But there's texturing behind the stars, and it looks so good in person. I was like, no. Doesn't need it. Just
with the paint, so the paint would ruin it, because of that gold.
Ruin it, but I know some of them are done, and to me it just doesn't look as good because there's texturing behind the stars, and in person it just looks so good. The texturing, I don't know. I know some paint ones look really good.
You want to see a bad replica? The bad replica that I have that's terrible is the current Intercontinental. That's a bad replica. That belt is off kilter. The plates are off. I can't explain. It's sideways. The strap is made terrible. It's as stiff as anything. So if you got the U.S. title like that, hold on. Let me just bring this one in. So this is the bag of the U.S. Already I'm bending it. Look, it's unbelievable.
Mine, I could barely even bend it. It was stiff as a board.
Yeah, and Max, your NXT tag was kind of the same way, right? Didn't it? Wasn't that stiff back too?
Because I expected it to be soft because the NXT was soft. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess shop straps are soft. See, I could not do that.
Listen, I gotta come to I had to come to the defense of this belt. I'm sorry. This is one of my favorites. We're doing the thing on the Undisputed, so I'm not trying to mess up your video. It's kind of weird, but. I'm telling you, this is buttermilk, whatever it is, the polyurethane, whatever. And then look, I love this belt. I'm sorry.
maybe it was just a one-off, Max.
Yeah.
It could have been just a one-off.
I remember seeing
Dude,
reviews and it looked soft.
I'll show you it over my shoulder real quick. Just goes right over.
Does it go up? It goes down.
It goes down.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Look at this. This thing's as flexible as anything. I was shocked when I got it how it was. I said, this is the first belt that I actually feel like I'm on TV throwing around an actual championship.
Yeah, I know I was bashing the strap a lot, but the plates, perfect. Beautiful, amazing plates. Nothing against those. I'm just saying, my strap.
When did you order it, Max?
I bought it off a Facebook group a few months after someone was selling theirs.
So he was giving you it was an official shop belt?
It was definitely an official shop belt. It was just he was just selling for a good deal, but
alright. He didn't want it, I guess. Alright.
Yeah, no, I got it in person. The plates were beautiful, but the strap was so stiff. Like every time I held it, I put it over my shoulder, it would stand up. I was so surprised because I remember seeing your review and seeing how soft it was, and I was like, oh, okay, I definitely have to get it now. But
dude, I got this belt, and I'll just show you while it's in the bag. Like you'll just see, and it's in the bag too, and it's like I don't know. You want to see a terrible belt? And I'm not trying to with these videos now.
No,
we're going off the rails here. I'll show you a terrible belt. Want to see a waste of money? Here. Hold on. We'll show you the current Apollo Cruz from Nigeria. His Intercontinental Championship.
I just hate that design.
I've never been a fan of that. I like the one that Cody Rhodes brought in. I
have that one as well. The white one, I have that.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
but
for
do
a
you
replica,
see?
yeah.
This is stiff.
That's how my US was.
Look.
Exactly like that.
Okay,
that was mine.
Yeah, it goes all the way up.
I mean, come on. When I open this belt, but again, why did I buy it? Because I wanted the new Intercontinental Championship. I didn't buy it because I thought I'd be getting something that was like the best thing. But I gotta show you this. I gotta hold it up like this. Hold on. I'm sorry. It's so there's
such a weird
it's so thin. I don't love it.
I mean, I think WWE could have been doing a lot better with that design. I don't like that design at all.
I just hate that design so much. It's such a downgrade. I remember when it first came out, I was like, it's okay. But as the months progressed, I hated it even more. Every time I see it on SmackDown, it just makes me sad, thinking, what happened to the classic IC?
The white one. I mean, I have the white one. I love that belt, and even the scratch logo white one. I would love to get. That's very well made replica of that one.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait a minute. You're talking about the network logo or no?
There's a scratch logo one.
Okay.
2013.
That's it. 2013?
I think so.
All right.
2013.
That's a beauty.
Again, that would fall under your rare category, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of rare.
Yeah.
I believe that one's casted from the real one, right?
I think so. And I mean, I'm like you, Max. I kind of troll the unboxing reviews to try to find one, but I mean, I have come across a few guys. We just interviewed somebody on Belt Addicts Anonymous for, and he's got it. And who I tell, who I ask people about that belt, nobody will sell that belt.
No.
That's one belt that nobody will sell because it's so well made. It's so amazing. And when they introduced that, I'm sorry, but when they introduced the new one, I was like, ugh.
Look, I'm a fan. I have the classic one from Shop, but again, they didn't make that so well.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't make it so well. But I don't care. I mean, it comes close. Now, obviously, you talk about the old block logo from Figures Inc. that I believe you have.
Yes.
That's a different story.
Yeah. No, I've the block logo from Figures Inc. That one, yes. That's that's
a real deal Intercontinental back in the day. Hey, do you think they'll ever remake the old school Intercontinental with the red?
Oh, I hope so.
The Macho,
Yeah.
the Max, you were talking about that one. You were wanting that.
Why not? I want it.
I'm actually.
And you know, that belt's amazing.
Quick, I guess a little announcement. I'm getting that made by Maker, so I should.
Are you really?
Yeah. So I should.
And it's a good guy making it. Like it's
a good guy. It's a good guy.
All right.
It's through Eddie Williams, and Eddie is a trustworthy guy. So I got a good deal. He had a nice sale going on, so I should be getting that in the next month or so. Definitely
That's
be reviewing.
big. I can't wait to see that on you. You got to show us that.
Yeah.
Definitely. The Intercontinental Championship is my favorite. It absolutely is.
Classic one, right? The classic.
The classic. Yeah, absolutely. Block logo. I have 5 Intercontinental Championships in my collection.
Oh wow.
I'm a big fan of them. I am. If I were to talk about the ones that are my favorite, I've got the yellow strap. It's a really rare one, a block logo, WWF Intercontinental Warrior.
Yeah.
So that one, and then my block logo re-leathered, the only one that I got. I've also got that one. And then the oval WWF Intercontinental. That's not my favorite design, but it is part of the era that I have to say. So for me, that's just a great belt that I've got. But Intercontinental.
You have that on a purple strap?
The oval? No.
Yeah.
You don't? No, just black.
Just for the oval, I never really cared for the design. Especially the scratch logo. But the block logo on the purple strap, I could get
that'd be nice to own.
That I would
own. That would be nice to own.
Scratch logo? No, I don't like it. But the block,
was never made, right? That was never sold.
No, I don't think so.
No.
You know what? The closest thing was, and I had it as a kid, was the Jakks Pacific toy belt that they had. Let me see if I can find it online real quick on my phone. It was purple. The strap, it was a toy belt, obviously, but it had that block logo.
I'm trying to find a picture.
They had it, and I had that one. Let me see. Yes, and this was like it. Well, this came pretty. It was similar to this, but I had a real. Is this the one from Jakks? What does somebody want on my card for it? $13. Let's see if this is the one from Jakks. This show has gone off the deep end. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a picture.
Yeah, no, and I go back to the oval Intercontinentals. I do. The main difference, with the WWF and the WWE Intercontinental, even though I don't like even though I'd rather have the WWF. I would, but the one that they have on the shop, it's not that bad.
No,
that's a good one.
I don't like the design, but it's 5mm.
No, but they have a good one. You're right. They made that pretty solid.
Pretty good one.
They do. They have a name. They have nameplate on that. I believe is because the Intercontinental Champion is like one line going around, and then on the WWF they've got the Intercontinental and then Champion underneath. So they have no nameplate. But I'm like you. Just I have it, and it's rare, so it's something to look at. But yeah, not my favorite design though.
This was it. I'm so sorry. This was it.
Yeah.
And I had that.
I think I've seen. Yeah,
they made that as a replica.
Oh, yeah. I would have to get that.
I know. I saw. Sorry, we're getting off topic, but
no, go ahead. Yeah.
Muhammad Nawaz, he's a belt maker. Mm-hmm. He made a 24 karat version, 24 karat gold version of that. And there's a Canadian re-leather, Colin Cook, I believe his name is, and he re-leathered that, and he was selling it like a month ago, and I almost bought it. But see the logo, but it's beautiful.
It's a nice belt.
That's the only oval that I'll own ever in my life. You're not gonna see a scratch logo oval. I don't know about even the European. I know you have the scratch logo European. I prefer the block logo. Just the scratch WWF logo just seems so just my opinion. I know some people won't agree. It just seems a little out of place for me. I think the block logo just looks a lot better on most belts, especially the big eagle.
Yeah. I mean, like for the European, I wouldn't mind the scratch logo. I don't love the scratch logo on the classic tag.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I would have felt if they didn't change to an oval IC title, and if they would have put the scratch logo on the old school Intercontinental. That might have adjusted well. I don't know.
I mean, they did that they did that in 2012 or whenever Cody Rhodes debuted. That one had the scratch logo, but it wasn't the WWF.
I'm talking about the WWF logo on the black strap. Like the transition, because we had last saw that title in '97. So if they would have transitioned that instead of just making the oval Intercontinental.
Yeah, no, I agree with Max. I love the block logo. And again,
I love the block logo too. I do.
I definitely do. I mean, if I were to look at my Intercontinentals, if I looked at the classic tag and the Andre and, the Hogan, I mean, the block logo,
it defined an era. It defined an era, and it defined the golden era. And it's rare now that they can't sell anything with WWF on it. So, obviously, if you have those Figures Inc. belts with the WWF block logo on it, of course it's more rare. Yeah, to me it is more rare. But I don't, like when I buy them off shop, I don't think it takes away from the belt that it just has WWE. To me, I'm past that. I used to think that way. But if I kept thinking that way, then there's so many belts that I would not have bought. I would have just been like, no, I'm not doing, I'm the reason why I strictly buy them from the company is because to me, it's official and it's like, I want to look back, like with all the things I collect, I want to look back in time, and these were the official belts. I don't alter them. I can't, if I alter something, like I have OCD like that, like I can't alter. Sure, the re-leathering would make it nicer and I can raise it up better and it would feel better on my shoulder, around my waist. Of course, I will not deny that. But to me, it's more about, do you have the belt that they sold back then?
Right.
Rob, you do. You have, So I want to touch real quick, and Max, you're steering the ship here. This is your channel.
No, it's okay.
But I want to go into the direction now of this AEW belt, because if we're going to talk about belts, we might as well just talk about the belt that just came out.
Rob, what do you think about the official AEW replica?
Yeah, you know what, and I mean, I had to be very honest. You could go to and try to get an overseas maker to do this, but I got to be honest, that replica, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you're ordering it now in June 2021. You'll have it first quarter 2022, and I mean, it's like having it made anyway. Yeah. But beautiful belt. I can't wait for someone to unbox that. Because and definitely you, Mike. I'm waiting for you, friend, to unbox.
Please watch the video. Please watch the video when it happens.
No, yeah. I know Dan McMahon, sorry to interrupt you. Dan McMahon, if you guys know who he is, he actually unboxed the belt.
I watched it.
Yeah,
I watched what you sent me.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I gotta go.
You have to watch it.
I have my on AEW in the back there. I'm tempted to get that. I think I might wait till someone is selling it re-leathered. Then I'll scoop that up, but
there's big talk on the admins on Belt Addicts Anonymous that they're wanting to go after that belt. They were claiming that, $800 or however much it costs in
$7. It was over $7.
It was probably over $7, yeah. And,
it was $764 to have it shipped to me.
$764 to have it shipped. Mm-hmm. So the same gentleman who was talking about it to one of the admins, saying that not the most expensive belt that he's purchased, but his wife was going to kill him, but he's still probably going to go get it. But definitely a beauty. I mean, I've looked at it, looked at the pictures. I mean, and I'm going to go watch Dan McMahon's unboxing, no doubt. But beauty.
Yeah.
No, I saw.
Absolutely.
Sorry, just one more quick thing. I saw a lot of people complaining about the price, which, sure, I guess, but no, this replica is incredible. Now, people were saying that it was a fake leather and doesn't have real stones, but I'd say it's on par with the official IWGP Heavyweight Championship that came out a few years ago. I don't know if you guys know a little bit about that. It was
I know. I don't have it, but I wanted that belt.
That belt, the official. They only made a few of that belt, but when they did sell it, it was about almost $2,000.
Right.
On fake leather, fake stones, but incredible plates. And then no one complained. Everyone was like, "Yeah, it's an amazing replica, so you can't complain." Now AEW makes this replica, which I'd argue is a bit better quality, because on the IWGP the stone holders didn't have any detail. This one is basically the real belt. I mean, you saw the photo comparing the replica and the real belt. It's so similar.
Yeah.
For $700.
Yeah, and that's one thing that bothers me about, this hobby. Like some of the people here that, and I'm not saying, of course, not you guys, but some people are saying that, $800, I mean, or for a replica, you pay for what you get. I mean, you definitely pay for what you get. I mean, that is an absolute replica. I mean, my belts, I mean, the one in the case, I mean, like, let's not, the Hogan, I mean, come on here. I mean, I'm a rare belt collector. I am. To have that AEW, I mean, it looks absolutely amazing. $800. I mean, fine, US. Okay, you're up in Canada, fine. But I mean, come on. I mean, you pay for what you get. There's no doubt.
So I woke up pretty early yesterday, waiting for it to go live. I was very fortunate. My fiance was okay with it. She didn't kick me out, so I still have a place to live, which is good. But no, to me, I was waiting years, right? I held off. Like, I remember asking Max, like, what was a good company that would make a legit AEW? Like, I wanted the AEW belt more than anything. I mean, for God's sakes, I was holding around the toy belt that I bought at Walmart. But the reason why I was doing that was because it was official. Because I'm all about it being official. Now, I have multiple AEW toy belts in there. I'm actually waiting on the AEW toy tag belts that should be shipping. I mean, Ringside, I don't know if you ever dealt with Ringside Collectibles. They're the absolute worst, but they're the only ones that have them, so it is what it is. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But as far as the AEW replica belt, when I saw the pictures, I was like, okay, these are just pictures. I don't know, whatever. And I still don't know what the final product's going to look like. I saw the pre-production belt that Dan had unboxed the other day that Max had sent me when it went on sale. I'm hoping, because I ordered it literally, I must have ordered it like a minute or so after it went live. I'm hoping they take into consideration, if they get them, maybe they get them sooner than later. Maybe it's a nice thing in November or December, a beautiful surprise. I don't know. I mean, they tell you the first quarter in 2022, but who knows? So the reason why I wanted this belt, and I want to touch on what Rob said, the thing about this hobby, it brings a lot of negativity. It brings a lot of jealousy. It brings a lot of shaming people. I mean, I'm off the wall crazy. Like, when I make some of these videos, some of the things that, I'm more into the speaking part of it than actually showing the product. But the AEW belt, to me, what is it, 868 stones and all this? I mean, come on. They're putting a lot of stuff into this. Regardless of whatever you said, this is made from this or made from that, they got it from there, they got it. I mean, this is something that, if anything was worth, I mean, for God's sakes, I spent over $1,200 after taxes and fees on that Stone Cold belt. In all seriousness, a U.S. dollar I spent. And that was like, the straps are like buttermilk. It's a beautiful belt. But come on. They didn't put effort into making that belt like they did with the AEW belt. So again, like Rob said, you get what you pay for. The AEW belt is, first of all, it's their first ever replica. And again, guess what? It's going back to what I mentioned. Just like talking about Figures Inc. and stuff like that. I don't know what's going to happen. Look, I'm a huge fan of AEW, but I don't know what's going to happen in 30 years. What happened? Will anybody ever have that belt 30 so years ago? And it'll be there. It'll be there.
Sorry to interrupt, just like the TNA Wildcat belt that they sold. That's not sold anymore. And if you want to buy the official one, people are selling it for almost $1,000. So like you said, I like AEW, but who knows, maybe 10 years from now, maybe it's non-existent, and you have the official replica. That's going to double in value.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great investment. I bought it. See, I honestly considered, deep down, I wanted two of them. I want one to hold, and then one to store away if what happens with what Max said, to just store it away and, it increases in value. To me, I just want to touch on this. I imagine they'll release other replica belts. Maybe they'll do the women's next. I don't know. But I'm hoping on a really nice strap, black, that we get the TNT title.
Yeah.
I hope
so.
Never know.
If they do sell the tags, I'm buying that.
The beautiful belts. I bought the toy ones. I'm waiting for Ringside to ship them.
If they sell the tags or the TNT, which I hope they do, I hope a lot of people buy the AEW and then they start making the tags. If they make the tags and the TNT, I'm buying it, definitely. Because you look at the quality of the AEW right now, it's incredible. It's so close to the real one. And then imagine the tags or the TNT. Yeah, easy.
You're starting to see AEW, and I don't want to, get into a whole wrestling topic here, but you're starting to see AEW put in effort in the little things. Like if you saw a little sneak peek of their upcoming video game, and little details like that fans like us would appreciate, that WWE nowadays, because they're big time, right, would just have oversight and be like, oh, we weren't thinking that. Just, mass produce the game, get as many 2Ks out there. 2K20 was terrible. But, little things that AEW are trying to do to make you feel like, okay, I think they're bringing back wrestling buddies.
They kind of have to, right? Nothing, but they kind of have to establish themselves as a legit company. Yes, they've been in existence for 2 years, but it's still not a proper up there with WWE. I love AEW, but it's not at the level of WWE yet. And to do that, they need to be production-wise, and name-wise. You go around, go to a store or anything, you ask, hey, do you know what WWE is? Yeah, of course. Do you know what AEW is? Maybe. They might know, but they're not at that level yet. And to do that, I guess they need a strong fan base. And they're doing that. I believe they're doing that with producing these amazing replicas, producing the great games. Yeah. But they kind of have to establish their name.
I totally agree. I want to see the TNT title. I want to see the tag titles. I want to see... You know what I want to see WWE do? And, and regardless, Rob's Andre belt will remain important, as important, or even more, because of it being the Figures Inc. and the block logo and everything. But you're giving everybody a legacy belt. You're giving everybody a signature series. Even if you had to put a special Andre strap around it, resell that fucking belt. That's the belt I want.
Yeah.
I want the Andre belt.
Or I heard the Big Green. Do you know the Big Green
belt?
Come
on.
They might
Who wouldn't want that? That'd be insane.
Because there's no good... Yeah. The green belt, Big Green belt, there's no good bootlegs of that. no one makes a
No.
good big green. Maybe Classic
I
Sheer.
never looked. You would
But-
know more about that than me. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no one makes a good one. But WWE, I have confidence in them. You know, their recent replicas have been great. Of course, the Undisputed that we talked about was great. The US was great.
But you gotta have the wrestlers' names on those side
Yeah.
plates.
And I know for a fact they'll add that detail because you can read, like you said, the Undisputed V2. You can read the letters in the crest. Of course, they're gonna add the names, and it's gonna look wonderful if they do that. You know.
There actually is a belt that I would love to have, but unfortunately, if they ever made it, it would never look the same. But and it's a women's belt, the belt that Alondra Blaze had.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that
You want
belt,
the white strap or the pink strap? What are you talking about?
Pink. Yeah.
pink.
Pink's
You want
I
the
want-
pink strap?
I want the pink.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a belt. I mean, I've seen decent makes of it. I have. It's just a really old, and it's all about like history, right? I mean, taking it over to WCW, putting it in the
Putting it in the trash.
it's a
That's
big thing.
something they should do.
Yeah.
It's a
Come
big
on,
thing
make
for
that
me.
belt. I would love it. Yeah,
It's
I'm
a
all
big
for
thing
that.
for me. Like that's another belt.
Or even some,
Definitely.
like you said, WCW, some old WCW belts. The WCW US belt. The Cruiserweight.
All right, first of all, if they
tags,
make
like-
the WCW, well, what about the WCW Cruiserweight belt?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
man.
Cruiserweight.
That belt is on a stock strap. Is a very rare belt. Definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
Colin had one. Garrett, I guess he practically gave it away. I haven't developed I haven't developed the WCW collection, but I mean, if I would, I mean that again, rare belt, stock strap, US, the WCW US. I mean, Brett ended up holding that. I mean, a belt like that, television title.
The TV title.
TV title. Like, I mean, I've seen, Casey had that. I don't know if he still does, but I mean, those are the type of belts, like rare belts. I mean, but that Alondra Blaze, wow.
I want to run something by you when we're not recording with what Max and I had spoke about before we recorded.
Sure.
I just want to get that out there before we call it a night.
Yeah, do you guys
We'll
have...
put a bow on this episode. We'll put a bow on it by saying, let's each real quickly. All right, thank you. Let's each go by. Rob, you could start first if you'd like. Favorite version of the WWE Undisputed title. Just even if you said it before, let's just put a bow on this and explain why, please.
I mean, definitely version 2, just because of the big. I'm about big titles, as you could tell
I
in
got it.
the background. Love the way that belt looks. Just love how it went from the version 1 up to that title. An amazing belt. It really truly is. Definitely one of my favorite versions. I mean, if I were to say a second, it would probably be the version 4. It would, but version 2 definitely all the way with me.
Mike?
Max?
Oh, okay.
Whatever. Yeah. Sorry. It's Max's channel. I'm running the channel. Forget.
Version 5. No, I'm just kidding. That was horrible. No,
Please, no, don't do that.
version 1. Like, I know the size is the only thing, but the texture, I love the texturing on that belt. The gold WWF logo, I love it. I love that. The only thing I don't like is the small size, but I can get over that. The plates look great. The two-tone gold, it just looks great. I love that version 1. And
I'm going with version 1 for this reason. Yes, the texture. I love the WWF logo on there. I love one of the two side plates over there that are gold, that are not etched in like black with that. And I remember, that night when Flair presented it. And I also think I remember Triple H when he defended it against Hogan and lost at Backlash. Because Hogan got so over with the crowd. And I believe Hogan won version 1 of the title. I believe that was version 1. So I got to go with version 1 based on really fond memories. But version 2 is right there because it's a huge belt. And I love, just like Rob said, I love like the huge belts. And it just, there's a different feel. When you get a belt, no matter where you order it from, or overseas, Figures Inc. back then, or WWE shop now, or now with Shop AEW or Pro Wrestling Tees, whatever. There's a different feeling when you get one of those big belts in your hands and stuff like that, and it feels different. You feel like job well done, purchase well done. You made a great purchase. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I love version. I'll lean towards version 1. I really agree with Rob with what he said with version 2, but I'm gonna lean version 1, and I think this was a success. And next week, so before we stop recording, Max, this is your channel. So step in here, and what do you think we should do with the next episode, Max? What belt? I already ruined a few episodes by bringing other fucking belts out, so I'm not the best.
If you guys enjoy this type of videos, just comment down below what kind of belts you guys would want to talk. Maybe we can go like different versions of the IC belts, from the block to the oval to the shitty one. The different versions of the US, maybe just anything. Any belt doesn't have to. We don't have to have it. Maybe the NWA Dome Globe. Doesn't matter. Guys, comment down below which belt you guys want in the next video. Any closing remarks from Rob or Mike?
Yeah, and maybe just an extension on that, Max. The viewers can comment down below, and then we can definitely take a look at it. And we have no problem, ladies and gentlemen. We'll definitely do any belts that you want. I mean, we'll look at them. And like Max said, we don't have to have them. We don't have to have them in our physical collections in order to review them. We'll definitely be able to. So we love doing these. We definitely do. But yeah, and let us know. We'll have no problem. No problem. I mean, we're guys that love to talk about belts. About belts. That's what we love. So we have no problem doing this.
I totally agree. I double down on what both of you said. We don't necessarily have to own it. It's always nice when we can present it like that. But, in all seriousness, it could be an old NWA style belt. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm all for it. So grateful to be a part of it. Thank you so much for having me on your channel, Max. And, after we stop recording, I think we're going to come up with a really nice idea that I think your viewers, possibly my viewers, and definitely that Facebook group that I know Rob is the co-founder of, plays a huge role in that. I think everybody included in that Facebook group and both of our channels are going to want to hear what we have to say next week.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks again for watching and joining me, guys, tonight. Please remember to subscribe to Mike's channel. I'll link him in the description down below. He makes great reviews. Make sure that he has the first belt reviews out there and unboxings.
Yes, we try our best, and we still pay our rent. We do good. Thank you.
Exactly. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.